Hey, I'm Chris Jenkins, sitting down with Paul Brunson. I have you listed as a modern-day matchmaker, co-host of Love Town on Oprah Winfrey's Network, author of It's Complicated, and a blogger for Essence.com.
Yes.
So, sounds like you have a lot of free time.
Yeah, none.
None?
You know what's crazy is, honestly, man, I slept 3 hours last night.
Okay.
So there's not much free time right now. But that being said, I love what I'm doing.
Okay.
You know, and the fact that, oh wow, this is someone who just sent me a text right here.
Go ahead and check your phone.
Go ahead and check that?
Whatever you want to do.
I will say this, even though we're on it, this is interesting, is because before we were actually filming, but before we were talking, and we both have a mutual friend that I just sent a text message to, and she just sent me a text back saying that she really misses Charlotte. There's great people there. And this would be my time to act as matchmaker and say, hey, I'm actually with Chris right now. So let's just do this right now.
Let him take his moment to text, and even though most people know I'm pretty private, I guess Paul's going to help bring me out a little bit.
See if we can do some live matchmaking.
Live matchmaking here.
I'm going to say, I'm with Chris. Do you know him?
You're the matchmaker. You're the hitch. We have a live hitch going on.
All right, let's see that. That's a good, safe question. Because, like, real talk, if she knows you, that means you have registered with her. Right? If she doesn't know you, then you haven't registered with her. So that's a very telling question.
And that's when we'll go into the dance lessons and everything like that.
No dancing. It's two-stepping. Two-step.
Yeah. I have some questions today. We're talking with Charlotte Vibe. A lot of our audience is females. And a lot of times on the site, we get to talking about relationships, so which you're an advisor on. So, first question I want to ask you is, what do you think the state of dating is right now, and the divorce rates that we have being so high? What are your thoughts on that?
Okay. So, what's interesting is that the divorce rates are considered to be high, but one of the things I like to do is try to dispel some of the myths around it. Because I think a lot of us believe that the divorce rates have been climbing over the years, and they're at like an alarming rate right now. But the truth is that divorce rates have been fairly stable over the last 10 years, and there have been points in our history where the divorce rate has been higher. So we're not in the worst state than we've ever been in, ever. And I think that's just important for us to understand. Also, I think that there's still an overwhelmingly large value of marriage. When Pew Research did their study last year, they found that most people still see a value in marriage. So I think from that standpoint, we're good. Really the challenge becomes, okay, well, what's going on? Why are we not connecting, right? And we have to understand that there's lots of reasons why we're not connecting. But what's most important that I want everyone to, really take home is that if you are not if you are dating and you have not found that one, what are all the things that you're doing? Write all those down, and then take all of those and throw it away and create an entirely new list. You have to do things differently. You have to do things differently. The only way you'll get a different result is by doing things differently, and dating is no different.
Okay. So would you say encouraging online dating and different stuff like that to find your match? You encourage things like that? You think online dating sites are good? Or do you think Facebook kind of corrupts it a little bit from the better sites for online dating?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is that technology, I think, is a bad rap because a lot of us blame technology. Like you look at right now, I think it's 1 out of every 5 divorces. Facebook is being cited somewhere in the divorce. Right, yeah. So people are like, Facebook is evil. Facebook is the devil.
Right.
But you know what? People are evil. Some people, the people that did whatever they did, they're the evil ones. It's not Facebook. Like, we can never blame the technology. We have to blame the human. So where I'm going with this is that the #1 source of a spouse is friends and family. The #2 source right now is online. 1 out of every 5 relationships start online. 1 out of every 6 marriages come from online. #3, work. #4, church. So I think if folks are out there really being smart, they're going to make sure that they have coverage in every category. Make sure you got friends and family working for you. Make sure you have a great online profile that's working for you. Make sure you're keeping your eye open at work and church, and make sure that you're doing different things. Cover all the bases. That'll give you the best chances of meeting someone new.
Okay. in terms of the state of dating, it seems like a lot of people complain about people's attitudes, not caring, people being real short in their temperament for other people, just because media gives all these justifications for any kind of behavior. And one of those behaviors I want to talk about is cheating.
Okay.
A lot of people talk about cheaters out there. Did some research on you, and
Okay.
you listed 8 reasons why you would never ever cheat on your wife, and I commend you for that. I said, you know, it should be 100 reasons. But you listed 8. Talk about those reasons, because some guys go to think, you know, and maybe they're not the ones that are married yet, you know, but they go to think, if I've reached this level of fame and financial stability, because the plight there has been so tough, once I get there, I'm just gonna have fun.
It's gonna go crazy.
I'm just gonna have fun, and I don't know if I could not cheat on anybody, or, you know, again, those people aren't married yet. But talk about your 8 reasons for you would never ever cheat.
Sure, sure. So there's a big debate around monogamy and whether or not people can actually be monogamous. And I'm a firm believer that people can be. You know, I've been monogamous, you know, with my wife, and we've been married for nearly 12 years. The reason why I wrote that piece is because I was getting a lot of emails, a lot of Facebook messages, a lot of texts from women saying, Paul, I don't believe that men can actually, you know, not stick everything that they see, you know what I mean? I don't believe that men can do that. And my reaction was, look at every data point, look at everything. You know, there's not a lot of men that cheat in terms of percentages, that kind of thing. They're like, all right, Paul, we know you're always on the data thing, but just tell me, just like keep it real with me. Mm-hmm. And I say, here's the bottom line. The bottom line is that there are lots of men that are like me that A, have respect for women, B, have respect, the utmost respect for their wife. So one reason for me was I can never conceive hurting my wife. You know, men most of the time are protectors. Mm-hmm. And you know, if I'm walking down the street and somebody bumps my wife, I'm like, you know, and so that's our role. So to think if someone bumps her, if that's how I react if someone bumps her, why would I want to intentionally destroy her? You know, make her cry? Why would I want to do anything like that? Yeah. So I think that's one thing. The second is that I think about how important family is. Family is everything to me. Everyone's last name, that is your legacy. That's all you leave. Your words you're not even leaving behind. You're leaving you. And so what do you want your legacy to speak about? When I think about my legacy, I want my legacy to speak about someone who walked his talk. I think about my grandfather's legacy the same way, my father's legacy. And so that's another reason why, right? That's very important to me. Another thing is, my son is almost 2. When he thinks of his father, I want him to think of his father with a high level of respect and integrity. I want him to know that his father was a man that did what he said he was going to do, right? Whatever he said, he did it. And you can't just talk about that. You have to show them. You have to show them. Mm-hmm. And that's another part of it. You know, and I can go on and on. You know, vows mean something to me. When you stand up and you get married and you swear or you basically testify before the Lord that you are going to do certain things, you're going to hold yourself accountable, you're going to be responsible. You're doing that in front of God.
Right.
Like, so in other words, you know, if you're the cheater, then you just say, oh, you know what, God, I'm just going to lie to you right now. Right. So if that's your intention going in, don't even get married, right? If you're going to step up and lie in front of God. And so there's so many reasons that for me, I will never cheat. And I believe that those are reasons why many men would never cheat. And so that's why I wrote that piece.
Okay. Now, all the guys can't steal what Paul just said when you get in trouble from going out and use his words to say, no, I didn't cheat, I'm never going to cheat. You know, use your own words. And that was good stuff. Steve Harvey has talked about relationships, as you probably familiar with. He had a pretty good book about thinking like a man. How is thinking like a man going to give a woman an edge up on dating in your opinion?
Well, I'll say this, is that I think Steve's book was good. Mm-hmm. And I think it was good for many reasons, but the number one reason to me was that it opened up a big dialogue, especially in the Black community, around relationships at a different degree, different level. Because if you remember, right before Steve Harvey's book came out, or actually right when it was coming out, there was a lot of information flooding in around, you know, black women are going to be single forever, you know, most black women are single, most black men date out of their race. It was bad data, bad data, bad data, after another around why the black family is blowing up. Steve's book came out, and it gave us something else to talk about, but it also allowed us to talk about more constructive ways around connecting, like his theory around thinking like a man in order to actually be able to better attract a man. So I thought that that was good. Now, where my book comes in is that, I mean, my book is not just about black community, right? Because I mean, I think love is love,
right?
So it's about everyone. But I think that my book is another level of discussion around now, not just how do we connect, but how do we maintain that? Because there's a lot of people that have the ability to connect.
Right.
A lot of people are good daters, right? A lot of people know how to get themselves a man or a woman,
right.
But it's how do you maintain that relationship? And that's really what my book is about. And I think those are some differences.
Okay, okay. A few dating tips before we close out.
Okay.
If you will, you advise dating multiple people, not dating one at a time. And you advise not going to dinner on the first date.
Right.
Actually, if at all possible, have a free date. Perhaps go to the park.
Yeah.
Now, in my opinion, I think a lot of when you first ask them to go to the park, they're going to think, okay, this guy's in love. He's in too deep. Can we just do something a little light? But go ahead and comment on those as far as your dating tips.
Sure. So I would say that the first date, though, should actually not even be a date. It should be a meetup. So if you've never seen the person before, you never laid eyes on them.
Blind date.
Blind date. You met them online. A friend set you up. One of those is that first is you meet maybe over coffee for 30 minutes, real quick, and all you're deciding is whether or not you're attracted to that person. That's all you need to decide. Because if you don't have a level of attraction, why even date them?
Okay.
You know, so that's the first step.
What about if it's you know the person, you met them at an event?
Okay, you met them at an event, you know them, you already know you're attracted to them.
Right.
Then what you do is you pick an activity and you listen to something that they're interested in, that they've always said that they wanted to do.
Okay.
So if, let's say that they say, you know what, I've always wanted to play, you know, golf. I've always wanted to golf, like play putt-putt golf, right?
Right.
You take them to play putt-putt golf. You listen, you show that you listen, and you're doing an activity. The reason why I don't like dinner or a movie on a first date is how is the woman gonna sit next to you for 2 hours in a dark room, a theater, and you're looking up at the screen? What are you gonna learn about them?
Well, not to get close enough to you while you're watching the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, or how